Hey guys, my name is Hannah and I would say, let's have some fun today. So I would say let's move on with the melt series here on my channel. I really want to use all my melt palettes on this channel with you together because I noticed I didn't do that until now. So I really felt the edge inside that I need to do that with you together. Also, like I told you guys, after that series I definitely will start with the Natasha Denona series on my channel because I also didn't use every palette from her until now on my channel. Also really sad, so we need to change that as well. And I also want to rank after all of those videos the palettes again that I have in my collection because I have really many palettes collected until now from every brand, so I have to do that for sure as well. So today the palette of choice will be the 420 palette from Melt Cosmetics. It's relatively new in my collection and I think it's beautiful. I'm really not a smoker or anything else in that direction, but I appreciate their color stories. Every time I see them, I have so much fun to use them. So really want to use that. And today is with a little twist. I really want to try to use this palette. But you know, when you look at this palette, you think full on fall palette. This is a fall palette of your dreams, almost, I have to say. But I really want to try to switch this fall palette around and try to make out a full-on summer look out of it. So this will be really fun. I think I would stick for that with the lighter colors in here, and I really want to try to make a beautiful, beautiful summer look out of a fall palette, if you want it like that. So if it sounds good and interesting to you, stay tuned and let's get started. So like always, I zoomed you in a little bit more that you can see everything I'm doing right here. And I will start to prime my eyes like always. A step I really never skip. It's something that sticks with me and I really like to do that before I start with eyeshadow, because I think it's giving the eyeshadows the best chance to show their full opacity and their full beauty. So I think I will start with a more dense blending brush, and let's see, I don't have something particular in mind, so I will just go with the flow. I think I would start with the shade Shotgun right here and take it on this nice blending brush. The formula from Melt is a little bit more powdery, so I have to be a little bit more careful showing it to you. And I will start with this shade Shotgun in the outer corner of my lid area. I'm starting with light tapping motions and working my way slowly inwards. And after the most product is on my lid and not on the brush anymore, I will start to diffuse it a little bit. It's a really, really vibrant type of greenish shade. Second layer, the second layer is even more strong. So you really can build this color up nicely, I have the feeling. And I go a little bit over my crease area so that the color is visible even though I have my eyes wide open. I have the feeling today this will be a quick look because if I do certain color combinations with this palette, I think the look will turn out too fall-like and I want to avoid that as good as possible. So I really need to be careful with my color choices today. I like the little twist that I did today with this palette. It's really fun to give you a little challenge for that day, you know? So I will see how good I will do with that. So now I will use a really dense packing brush and I would spritz it with my e.l.f. Makeup Mist Set Spray. Just a little bit. And I will go into the color Shatter right here. This is the only more metallic-like shade in this whole palette. And I will really pack it up on the brush. So hopefully I will get an opaque layer out of it. It's looking really nice. It's a little bit hard pressed, I have to say. I have to really dig into it. But hopefully the payoff will be nice. Then I won't be mad about it. And I will focus this one basically on the part of my lid where I have nothing, where I have no initial eyeshadow product on it. So let's do this in the inner portion. It's a little bit of a crumblier shade. It's not an easy shade, I have to say, but it's looking nice. If you are spraying it or using a glitter glue, I think you can be okay in the end. But you really have to dig into this shade, I have to say. It's not that easy for a quick use. So I don't think I will ever use this shade when it needs to be really fast. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of this shade, I have to be honest with that. I think it could be easier, and it's a little bit patchy and not as shimmery and as I would like. You know, in the Mary Jane palette, it's also a little bit harder to pick up some of those crumblier shades. You always have to wet your brush, but in the end the look is always so beautiful and nice. But with this shade I'm not that impressed. It's really a little bit crumbly and patchy looking, so I think it's not my favorite one. Let's try to go in this shade with the finger again, and maybe I can save the look a little bit with that and fill up the spots. It's a little bit smoother. I think I would leave it like that before it will get worse, maybe, if I do more. So now I would spritz my brush a little bit less than before for the other side. Try to make it work this time a little bit better, maybe on the other side. But I think the shade is a little bit better with your finger, maybe. But I want to have the same opacity on the other side, so I wanna recreate my steps from before. But I think otherwise I would just use my finger for this side. This time I will go a little bit easier on this side. It's okay. It's a little bit patchy. It's not my favorite shade in this palette, I have to say. And it's a little bit sad because it's the only really metallic-like shade that you will get in this palette. But with your finger it's a little bit better. So let's use the finger now. I think I will have a better outcome with that. I think you will really have the best result with your finger. Really like that a little bit more than with a wet brush. Maybe I wetted also too much for that shade. Maybe this shade isn't intended for a really wet brush, so I will try next time just use my finger, and then hopefully I will be good in the end. Because I have the feeling with the finger it's really nice and even spread it out. But you know, it's so hard pressed, maybe with the finger as well. If I don't use something wet beforehand, it won't show its full opacity like it's doing right now. So I have to play a little bit more with that shade, I have the feeling. I have to figure out how to use it best. Not that satisfied now with it, but I think I got it to a point where I'm okay with the outcome. So like I said, it will be a really quick and easy look, hopefully. Now I will go into the color Faded. It's a little bit darker. And I will use a small blending brush for that. Go really lightly in there and try to deepen my outer corner a little bit more up with that shade. Go a little bit into the gold, so that everything is smooched together more nicely. I think the shade Faded is helping a little bit with the intensity that I want, and also to smooth the color a little bit more out, the color shadow, to smooth it a little bit more out and to make the look a little bit more cohesive. And now for my lower lash line I will go into the shade Wax right here. It's a beautiful, beautiful yellowy kind of shade. And I will stick with the same brush for that. And go basically all over my lower lash line. In the pan it's looking really yellow-like. But on the eyes it's getting also a really greenish look to it. So maybe I will try to use a more packing type of a brush in a second. Maybe we can get it to a more yellowy look then. But in the moment it's a really more, yeah, like a greenish yellowy type of shade. And in the pan it's looking really like a waxy kind of yellow, like the name is implying. And of course I cleaned my brush beforehand so that there's no green color left on it. So it can't be that. Let's use a really more inner corner type of brush. It's more dense and small. And let's go again into the color wax. And now I will stamp it a little bit more onto my lower lash line. Let's try that. Yeah, if I'm doing that, it's getting more yellow-like I wanted it to be. It's not perfect, but it's a little bit more in that direction that I wanted it to be. And I will go again into the color wax with the same stiff brush, and I will focus it now into my inner corners. Yeah, it's naturally with a more greenish undertone, but it's okay. It's fitting the vibe of the palette. But I really wanted it to be a little bit more of a strong yellow-like shade. But it's okay. It's beautiful anyways. And I work it a little bit upwards to the goldeny shade. Now I go into the color Shatter again, just a little bit to this metallic-like shade, and also focus it a little bit into my inner corner. And drag it a little bit to my lower lash line as well. So guys, this is all of my look. I hope you can see a little bit the summery inspiration out of it. I thought a little bit about a sunflower or something like that. So I really enjoyed the look. I really love how it came out. Yeah guys, and I think this is all of the look I want to do for now. I just do quickly my lashes and my lips, and then we will be right back with the finished result. So guys, and here's the finished look all zoomed out. For my lashes, I used my mcgrath Labs Dark Star Mascara, like always. And for my lips, I used my Etude House Better Lips Talk in the color 402. And the rest is in Korean, but I think it's Love Rosy, but I'm not sure. It could be also another name, but it's definitely 402. So this beautiful rosy peachy kind of shade to make the look complete and to give it a little bit more of that summery vibe, if you know what I mean. And in the end I also lined my lips just a little bit with the MAC lip liner in the color Soar to make it a little bit more nicer and crispier looking, you know. So, and this is the look guys with my 420 palette from Melt. I'm really happy with the outcome. I think overall it's really summer-like looking. Like I said, the only shade I'm not that impressed with is the shade Shatter, because I think it's a little bit too hard pressed in there and it's a little bit harder to get the color payoff that you maybe want from it. But other than that, I'm really enjoying my time with this palette. I'm also really excited to create in the fall time more looks with it. I also will use it in the summertime because, like you can see, it can create for sure also a summery look if you want to. And I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I'm always so impressed how Melt has always the ability to make something like this grungy looking anyways, even though I used the lightest colors in the palette right here. Really happy with it, really loved the outcome, really happy with this color story especially. I picked it up on the Melt website when they had their 50% sale, so I'm really happy with my purchase right here. And I hope you enjoyed this video guys. If so, I would be really happy if you consider to subscribe my channel if you haven't already. Also give me a thumbs up that I know that you like this kind of content, and click on the little bell to get notifications here and there when I'm posting something new. And with that being said guys, I hope you had fun. I hope we will see each other in my next video, and until then, bye.